talk about parameterizations of curves. So here's the definition of the parameterization, which you have in your lecture notes. And we will briefly get some examples of parameterizations. That we had an example of a circle, one of an ellipse, and one of a funnier looking circle. But the more important example is this, the intersection between the sphere and the cone. So that's that. So we're going to consider the intersections of the sphere x squared plus y squared plus z squared equals 1 with the cone x minus 1 squared plus y squared equals z squared. To compute this intersection, to parameterize this intersection, we first rewrite the two equations. We'll keep the first one on, and the second one we're going to write as x squared minus 2x plus 1 plus y squared minus z squared equals 0. So we're going to now take the second one from the first and get the x squared cancels, 2x minus 1 plus 2z squared equals 1. Or another way of saying this is that 2z squared it's equal with 2 times 1 minus x. Or z squared equals 1 minus x. We now replace this back into this equation and have x minus 1 squared plus y squared minus z squared, but instead of z squared we're going to put 1 minus x is 0, or another way of saying this is that x minus 1 squared plus x minus 1, because minus 1 minus x, it's x minus 1, plus y squared is 0. Now we're going to complete the square to say we're going to add and subtract 1/4, so we're going to get x minus 1 plus 1/2 squared plus y squared it's equal with 1/4. This is just adding 1/4 and completing the square. Or another way of saying is that x minus 1/2 squared plus y squared is 1/4. Now the parameterization of something like this, which is a circle with radius 1/2 and center at at 1/2 and 0, is 1/2 cosine of t plus 1 sine of 1/2 sine of t, and of course z square, which is square root of 1 minus x, so square root of 1/2. So 1 minus x would be 1 minus cosine of t, which is exactly the one in your text, in the text.